Greetings, Blue Ash Presbyterian Church. I am looking forward to meeting you soon, but here is a little introduction into Pastor Cherie. Ever since I was a little girl, I have always stopped to smell the flowers. My mom has said that is one of the things that sets me apart from others, my ability to notice and enjoy the world around me. I would also add to that my enthusiasm. I was born in Akron, Ohio, and grew up in nearby Kent, Ohio, but I also spent 5 years of my elementary school living in Porterville, California. If you take a map of California and stick your finger in the middle of it, that's where Porterville is. I have one older sister who is a social worker, and she lives in Altoona, PA. And my parents are retired, and they still make Kent their home. I attended Bradley University in Peoria, Illinois, where I completed my Bachelor of Fine Arts in painting and photography. After college, I moved to St. Paul, Minnesota, and I spent a year with the Lutheran Volunteer Corps working for Second Harvest St. Paul Food Bank. While I was actively involved in church in my youth and college days, it was during my LVC year that I felt called to ordained ministry. I then attended Duke University, where I completed my Master of Divinity, and yes, I am a huge Duke Blue Devils basketball fan. In fact, it won't take you long to recognize my car with the license plate Blue Devil. My first call was to be campus minister at United Campus Ministry at Southern Illinois University, Edwardsville, and I was ordained into full ministerial standing within the United Church of Christ on August 15th of 1999. I am married to the Reverend Paul Burden, who is an ordained minister in the United Church of Christ, and he is currently serving as pastor of St. Peter and St. Paul United Church of Christ in Westwood. We have 3 children, Christina, Blake, and Rachel. Christina and Blake both live in Southern Illinois in the St. Louis metro area where we used to live, and Rachel is a junior at Oak Hills High School. Yes, we are West Siders. Christina is married, and she and her husband Jeff made us proud grandparents a little over a year ago by blessing us with our first grandchild, Miles. And our grandparent names are Lolly and Pop. Get it? Lolly, Pop? Get it? Paul currently serves as chaplain in the Illinois Air National Guard, but he is retiring in March after over 20 years of service. Our son Blake also serves in the same Guard unit in the security forces. I have served in many different capacities throughout my ministry, including pastor, interim pastor, campus minister, and hospice chaplain. We have lived in Delhi since 2009. We have a cat, Rosie, and a dog, Daisy, and I love spending time with my family. I love anything Disney, listening to children laugh. I love feeding the birds and watching them. I love flower gardens, especially tulips. My morning cup of coffee, the sound of wind chimes, and simplifying my lifestyle. So here's a funny little story. I have been watching Days of Our Lives since I went to college, when all of my friends and women in the dorm also watched it and got me hooked. It has been my 40 little minutes each day of escapism from our crazy world. So anyway, back in the day, I recorded it on a VHS tape and watched it every evening, fast-forwarding through the commercials. And Paul was always around, but he was usually reading a book while I watched it. One day, a couple years after we were married, I heard from the kitchen, "What did Sammy say?" To which I said, "Ha! You were watching it." And he says, No, I just heard something. And I said, "No, I will tell you what Sammy said if you admit that you are a Days fan too." So he did. So every night before bed, we still watch Days of Our Lives. The fun part was this Christmas, Paul got me a cameo from Eric Martsolf, who plays Brady Black on Days of Our Lives. It was awesome. Brady Black actually sang the song "Cherie Baby" to me and thanked me for being a huge Days of Our Lives fan. So that was a little gift that I got for Christmas that was a fun little story I thought I'd share with you today. So I begin my ministry here as interim pastor on February 15th, and I'm really looking forward to journeying with you in this time. I look forward to getting to know each and every one of you. One of my favorite scriptures is 1 Peter 4, verses 8 through 11. Above all, maintain constant love for one another, for love covers a multitude of sins. Be hospitable to one another without complaining. Like good stewards of the manifold grace of God, serve one another with whatever gift each of you has received. Whoever speaks must do so as one speaking the very words of God. Whoever serves must do so with the strength that God supplies, so that God may be glorified in all things through Jesus Christ. To him belong the glory and the power forever and ever. Amen.